After Sweden, the Mpox virus was detected in Pakistan as well. Global health officials on Thursday confirmed an infection with a new strain of the Mpox virus in Sweden and linked it to a growing outbreak in Africa, the first sign of its spread outside the continent. Now, Pakistan has reported 3 cases of Mpox. WHO has declared the disease a global public health emergency. There have been 27,000 cases and more than 1,100 deaths, mainly among children, in Congo since the current outbreak began in January 2023. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has announced that he will step down from his post next month and will not seek re-election. Japan is already battling a declining population, an increase in living costs, and escalating geopolitical tensions. As the country's 8th longest-serving post-war leader, Kishida led Japan out of the COVID pandemic with massive stimulus spending. Kishida's decision to quit will trigger a contest to replace him as party boss and, by extension, as the leader of the world's 4th largest economy. 37-year-old Paetongtarn Shinawatra has become the youngest Thai Prime Minister and only the second woman to occupy the position after her aunt Yingluck. Just within 48 hours after Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin was dismissed by a Supreme Court order, Paetongtarn secured the parliamentary support required to replace him. Former United States President Donald Trump made a comeback on social media platform X, formerly called Twitter, where he was banned earlier for spreading disinformation. While talking to Musk, Donald Trump recounted his assassination attempt in vivid detail and promised the largest deportation in US history during a high-profile return to the social media platform. During their talk, Trump welcomed the idea of Musk, his former critic, on joining his next administration to help cut government waste. Musk volunteered to join a prospective government efficiency commission. Rival Democrats from the Harris Brigade called this chat a disaster and called Trump's entire campaign in service of people like Elon Musk and himself self-obsessed rich guys who will sell out the middle class and who cannot run a live stream in the year 2024. As the war continues between Russia and Ukraine, Kyiv has reached deeper into the Kursk region of western Russia. This has been termed as the biggest foreign incursion into Russia in decades. Thousands of Ukrainian troops rammed through the Russian border in the early hours of August 6th into Russia's western Kursk region in what Putin said was a major provocation that was aimed at gaining a stronger hand in possible future ceasefire talks. Ukraine carved out a slice of Kursk, and though Putin said the Russian army would push out the Ukrainian troops, intense battles have so far failed to expel them, and Ukrainian troops continue to advance further. Hello, you're with me on Global Compass, the weekly show that updates you on all that has been happening around the world. In our next segment, let's take a look at some of the stories that were specifically featured on Strat News Global. Amidst the ongoing war in Gaza, the United States on Tuesday approved a $20 billion sale of fighter jets and other military equipment to Israel. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken authorized the sale, which include nearly $19 billion worth of F-15 fighter jets, along with $774 million in tank cartridges, over $60 million in explosive mortar cartridges, and $583 million in army vehicles. In a public statement, the Pentagon said the United States is committed to the security of Israel and it is vital to US national interests to assist Israel to develop and maintain a strong and ready self-defense capability. The US has faced increasing criticism both domestically and internationally for its continued military support of Israel amidst the ongoing conflict. In a high-profile detention case, Pakistan's former head of ISI, General Faiz Hamid, has been arrested in connection with a high-profile housing scheme scandal known as the Top City case. Hamid, who led the ISI from 2019 to 2021 during Imran Khan's government, was a key figure in Pakistan's security apparatus. He faced strong criticism from PMLN leader Nawaz Sharif and his daughter Maryam Nawaz, who accused him of influencing their convictions and supporting the previous PTI government. While addressing the ongoing attacks against Hindus and other minorities, Bangladesh's interim leader Muhammad Yunus held a meeting with Hindu students and community members, marking it a great matter of concern. According to the reports, minority communities in Bangladesh have faced at least 205 incidents of attacks in 52 districts since the fall of the Sheikh Hasina-led government on the 5th of August. The Hindu student group has demanded the establishment of a fast-track tribunal for swift trials in cases of attacks on Hindus, the urgent enactment of a minority protection law, and establishing a Ministry of Minority Affairs. On the 14th of August, the Taliban marked the third anniversary of their return to power after US and NATO forces withdrew from Afghanistan with a military parade at Bagram Air Base in 2021. The parade was held a day before the actual anniversary of the Taliban's entry into Kabul on the 15th of August 2021, as Afghan security forces set up with years of Western support disintegrated and US-backed President Ashraf Ghani fled. In a victory parade at Bagram Air Base, high-ranking Taliban officials were joined by representatives from China, Russia, Pakistan and Iran. The Taliban's supreme spiritual leader, Haibatullah Akhundzada, said the group had transformed Afghanistan into an Islamic Sharia-based country. Since the Taliban's takeover, Afghanistan has plunged into an economic crisis exacerbated by banking restrictions, lack of formal recognition from foreign governments, and devastating conditions for women who are barred from taking up higher education in the country. To know more about the condition of women in Afghanistan and the refugee crisis triggered by the Taliban, we will hold an in-depth discussion with a subject matter expert next week. Do remember to tune in on Strat News Global's Global Compass for that. As the world's biggest sporting event, Summer Olympics, ended this week in Paris, India closed with 6 medals. The United States dominated the medal tally chart with 126 medals, followed by China with 91 and Japan with 45. The event was marked by many controversies, ranging from anti-Olympics protests in Paris, Imran Khalif's gender row, and health concerns over the Seine River, to Indian wrestler Vinesh Phogat's dismissal, and so on. To understand how sports functions as a tool of soft diplomacy in world politics and how India can leverage this by positioning itself at the center of attention with cricket's inclusion in the 2028 LA Olympics, we talk to marketing expert turned cricket entrepreneur Jatin Ahluwalia and Robert Masih Nahar, former senator from Barcelona. Watch this excerpt from this interview. India has decided to bid for the 2036 Olympics. But are we actually ready? Isn't it a huge financial burden and a financial strain on any country to organize a sporting event as big as this, as the Olympics? Are we actually, do we have that kind of financial clout to do it?
This is a hot topic. Sadly, we haven't done as well as we should have. We are on a march to be world supremacy when it comes to our GDP, our economy, our economic prowess. But sports, we have a long way to go. And I think that brings us to the point that if we do host an event such as Olympics, that will give us the ecosystem to actually create sports from a grassroots level. I'll come to your point that do we have the wherewithal financially to host it? But the advantage first, if we do host Olympics in 2036, we have a lead time of 13 odd years to create a large ecosystem. I'm not just talking about stadiums. I'm not just talking about arena. I'm talking about a overall shift in the way we look at sports, because when it comes to our athletes, one would like to believe we are no less. But when it comes to cutting edge events such as Olympics, FIFA, where we've been aspiring to qualify and participate and shine, it's the expertise, it's the last mile where we are lacking. Even in this Olympics, there were many close calls. Uh,
Hmm.
and if we have that kind of expertise, which is a larger than life center of excellence in the form of the huge preparation of Olympics, it'll hugely help a cause. Now let's look at, do we have what it takes to host an event like Olympics? See, there are two worlds to it. There's an historical world and there is a futuristic world. Historically, it has caused a dent. Historically, it has been a problem for countries to host. Qatar faced a problem post FIFA. Japan faced a problem post Olympics. London Olympics also caused downturn in the economy.
Yeah.
Uh, France is a modest example. It's a very balanced example, and there are great learnings from this, and which can help India. The learnings are that it has to be a more sustainable Olympics. 2036, if pitched as a sustainable event, by sustainable I mean we reuse our facilities, we ramp up our existing infrastructure. We don't have to recreate a national stadium or a Talkatora or a Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium or the infrastructure we have in Ahmedabad or in Bangalore or in Patiala. We have to clean our canals, we have to clean our rivers. There are ways where now with the expertise in ESG and sustainability and recycling, there are some best practices emerging and which can help country create or reach that level without really having to invest to that as we used to do historically. That's really is our solution.
Sports is a tool for soft diplomacy, right? So, where do you see India capitalizing on this? If you could give me, with the example of what you are doing with Spain. I mean, Mr. Nahar, you joined us at perfectly good time.
Sports, yes, it's a soft diplomacy. You are right, and through sports we can reach beyond the borders. In today's world, it's a global world, and we can make easy relations, easy connections through sports with other countries. For example, you have seen Olympic last week. So many countries play together. Many athletes who come from very small countries, and they have been able to bring their country's name on the main board. So
Yes.
I think sports is a tool, not only a soft diplomacy, but also through it expand culture, tradition, and social cohesion. It helps in all sectors.
So, Jatin, how do you think India can capitalize on this fact? Like Mr. Nahar said, it is definitely a tool for soft diplomacy. How can India take this forward?
I can't agree more. We are able to see time when nations will be talking about not to exert their supremacy with the nuke, but with the medals and the sports accolade the country has. And I think there is one discipline where India can really take a pride is cricket. Cricket is you love it or you hate it, but the fact remains is the most
It's a
passionate.
religion.
More specifically, the ecosystem and the expertise we possess in our country, we can help many countries, thereby improving our bilateral relations, creating a platform for two economies to flourish on cricket as a platform, so to speak. And I think Mr. Nahar can say he's been kind enough to accept the Indian expertise trying to make inroads in Spain with his help.
So, Mr. Nahar, how has that experience been for you? The experience of working with India as a partner?
So, as I said before, that I have been always looking towards India. In 2012, I worked a lot to go and find sponsors from India. I spoke to many big companies, and that time cricket was not so so famous on this part of world, especially this part of Europe. They have been always in UK and Scotland and Ireland. So we didn't get the success to reach to some kind of collaboration from India, and I always knew that someday something will happen, that some companies from India will come and they will support us to promote cricket in this part. And I would like to add that since the cricket has been announced to play in Olympics, next Olympics, there is a lot of push and lot of support from this part of world for cricket as well.
You can watch the entire interview on Strat News Global on Tuesday. Please write in your comments. Don't forget to like and share this video. I hope you have subscribed to this channel and made sure that your friends and family who are interested in foreign affairs have done it as well. And it's time to wrap up this week's Global Compass. But before we let you go, enjoy this performance by Palestinian musician Raouf Belbisi, who was displaced from Gaza and is now performing in Egypt to support himself in the attempt to keep the Palestinian culture alive through his music. Take a look. I will see you next week. Till then, take care.